Hey girl, hey, it's your girl Rakara. Welcome to Girl Talk, where we discuss all things girly, fashion, food, and how to deal with those X and Y chromosomes. Hi guys, my name is Rakara Smith. This is the very first episode of Girl Talk. It's spelled Gurl, talk with an exclamation mark. And our slogan is Hey Girl, Hey. So, hey girl, hey, let's talk about it and let's get into it. The reason I started Girl Talk was because I worked orientation at my college over the summer of last year, and we would go into an office and it was just mainly girls, and we would just talk about girl things. So relationships, dating, what it's like to be a sibling, anything like that under the sun. And then guys would come in and they'd be like, "Oh, are we intruding?" And I said, "No, Girl Talk is open to everyone." And then they would come in and share their relationship stories that they had with us. We taught one of our friends, a male friend, how a tampon works. So on this podcast, we're going to talk about things that interest me. So food, fashion, menstrual cycles, everything under the sun like that. And with that being said, we're going to get into the very first episode. So, my two special guests today are my middle sister, Sierra, and then my oldest cousin, aka my twin, Rakaya. I wanted to have my youngest sister on here because this topic today is sisterhood, but sadly, she is at work being an adult. So, today it's just going to be us, and I'm super excited to get into this episode. So, first question is, what is it like just being a sister? Me and Rakaya are the oldest siblings, and Sierra's the middle. So, Sierra, what is that like?
Being the middle child is like being in a rough spot, but not so really. Not really. The older sibling is always the perfect golden standard child. The baby is always spoiled, gets what they want. The middle child, literally, we have so much trauma packed onto us. Like, the middle children are known for being the wild child, and yes, I was a wild child.
She still
Not so very much now, because I am getting older and I'm maturing. But it is.
Okay. Yes, you're maturing. You're maturing.
I'll accept that.
It's actually pretty cool though, because you get to see like how, because you're also an older sibling, but you're also a little sibling. So
Best of both worlds.
just, yeah, you really just get the best of both worlds, because you're like, oh, I'm the older sibling. Mom said do this, mom said do that, and then I get that from her because she is the older sibling.
She gets to get it and she gives it.
I'm like, I get to delegate things, but also I have to like receive things at the same time. But being the middle child is really, it's not as bad, but it is. Because you really are trying to navigate the world as just being there.
Mm-hmm.
And just this, like, little, how would you say it? Like, what is that word? It's just, you're just there. You're literally just there. Like, especially if, like, we had another, like, little sibling, like, I would be the oldest middle sibling.
Well, that would be hard because you and Kamaya would be the middle siblings.
Yeah.
So you split it.
So
You will really get the rough end of the stick.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I think being a middle child is, it can be cool sometimes. Sometimes it's like, boo. Yeah.
I'm sure all middle kids relate to that.
Yeah, middle kids unite.
Yeah. Can't relate. Rakaya, you're the oldest grandchild and the oldest sibling. So how is that for you?
I think even being the oldest overall, like even older than you guys, I feel like in a way, it's very rewarding because, like, you have people that look under you, so you kind of have to just be like, okay, well, what am I going to do to see if I can impact their day? Or, you know, what can I do to make them, like, not follow my footsteps, but, you know, do something for them to be like, okay, this is the person I want to be, not, like, a bum. You know what I mean? Yeah, but at the same time, like, it's tougher because I feel like I'm held to a higher standard.
Oh, for sure.
It's like, oh, you're the oldest, so you see they're watching you. It's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, I think for me, especially, it's a lot of pressure to be the oldest because I do want to be the best role model I can be for my sisters. So it's very hard because I'm always like, if I do something and if I know it's like not the best idea, I always think in the back of my brain, you know, what I want my younger sisters doing this. So I think there's a lot of pressure, but I do love being an older sister. I can't imagine being a middle child or a younger child. So
for me, from an older person's standpoint, I feel like the middle child always requires more attention.
Hey.
Well, yeah,
because they are the wild child in a way. Like, yeah, we're held to a higher standard, but at the same time, I feel like because they require more attention, it kind of takes away from us too. But I feel like just having siblings in general is just tough.
It's a lot.
Whether you're the youngest, oldest, middle child, it's tough all around.
Being the middle child, like I said, trauma. It's like all this trauma being poured onto you, and you don't know what to do with it. You're just there trying to manage it. Like, I know for me, I don't talk about my feelings. I don't like to talk about my feelings. But, like, it is good to talk about your feelings. Like, going to therapy, getting help, just talking to anybody, talking to a friend, talk to your pet. Like, they listen. They might not talk back.
Great.
But, yeah, because being the middle child, you're getting influenced, but at the same time, you are an influence. So that's just a little in between right there.
Yeah. I think that's a good segue into the next question, which is how has being a sister affected your relationships? So, like, friend relationships, romance relationships. How has that affected your relationships? Anyone can start.
I don't think my siblings really have affected any of my relationships because, like, we all have a big age gap. So, like, I'm 6 years older than my brother, but I'm also 12 years older than my sister, so...
Gosh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't take the time to do that math.
I didn't either.
Yeah, so, like, Deshaun, like, he would be off doing his own thing. I would be off doing mine. Like, we were all kind of just, like, scattered out. And, like, I was at the age where, like, oh, I can just go out. So, like... I don't think it really, and I'm also been the type to where, like, if I'm in a relationship, it takes me a while for me to bring them around my family because, one, I need to know it's legit, and two, they're crazy.
Yeah, we're like, a crazy bunch.
I don't want to scare them off. So, yeah, and even then, like, by the time I do, it usually just doesn't pan out. So I'm like, okay, whatever, it is what it is. But, yeah, I don't think me being in any relationship has affected how me and my siblings are. But friendship wise, I would get really, really jealous. I used to get really jealous because when I did bring my friends around, they would bond with my younger siblings, and even with Sierra, I'd be like, stop. Because she would brag to me like, oh, Kendall's my best friend. I'm like, no, she's my best friend.
I love me. I love me.
I think, yeah, I get that. There's a sense of jealousy, but I love that, though. I think maybe one of the big things is, like, our friends can get along with our siblings, because, you know, they're, especially being the oldest,
and that
like,
matters,
you
too.
guys are annoying sometimes, in the loving way, but you guys can be annoying, so I think it is nice, and it's a good sign when our friends can bond with them, and vice versa, because I love watching your friends grow up, and I consider them to be, you know, my little sisters, too, or even little brothers, and I think, in a way, too, romance-wise, they affect my relationship because you said, I don't like to bring them around unless I do know it's for sure. Because if I'm on FaceTime with, like, a potential boyfriend, they're just so nosy, and they're gonna ask 20 million questions, and so I don't want that.
And then run and tell, like, Mom, so-and-so's on the phone with so-and-so.
But you want to say exactly.
Well, dang.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't want you to know that. But I will say, even, it's so funny, because I did just get out of a relationship, and my youngest sister is ride or die. She said, she's like, I'm gonna unfollow him on Instagram and do all these things. I said, please stop, just stop. So they are ride or die, and I think it's really nice that they are protective of me, and they're my younger sisters. So they affect my relationships in that way, and so I do love them. But yeah, they will cut somebody's throat for me, and
I think that's a
that.
perk for me, is even though like I'm the oldest, having older, like, younger brothers, especially ones that are taller, because they're all like 6 foot and taller. Like, they don't play when it comes to me. Like, they can mess with me and get on my everlasting nerves, but when it comes to like me being heartbroken or upset, I know for a fact, like, I feel really bad for the person that messed up.
Oh yeah, and I'll cut a bitch for you too.
Right.
So.
I ain't
We're all ride or die.
Very.
Yeah, for sure. Kamaya just uses my boyfriends as literally. She just uses them because she wants food. She uses them for food.
That must be
That's all
She
Kamaya
is
does.
definitely a gold digger.
So Kamaya does. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I use Cameron for food and money. So. But I love to. And he bought me shorts too. He bought me clothes. So we love him for that. But all my friendships, yeah. Yeah, y'all do. You get along with them. Kamaya gets along with all my friends. Like, no matter who it is, because they become our family. They're, like, after you've been over to our house, like, once, it's, like, your family now.
Pretty much.
Like.
Our door is always open. But don't break in. But our door is usually always open.
You know where everything is. But relationships.
I usually got to have my own bathroom, which was super nice. But Sierra and Kamai used to share a lot, and they weren't terrible, I wouldn't say. They are the messiest, though. I like Rakai, I like my bathroom to be clean and nice. So the worst thing about, well, I mean, I guess if you have brothers too with hair, our hair gets all over the place. So it's a lot of cleaning the hair out of the drain, and then menstrual cycle stuff you gotta clean up. But yeah.
Kamaya is
yeah,
the
what
worst.
is it like sharing with Kamaya?
Kamaya is
because
the
they usually
absolute worst when it comes to cleaning the bathroom and sharing it. She has makeup everywhere. She has toothpaste and water everywhere. Like, I don't know what she doing. I think she having a field day in the bathroom sometimes, because I'm like, why?
She does have concerts in there.
Yeah, Kamaya, we love you, but she gets in the shower and puts her speaker on with her music and has full-on concerts.
Yes.
So.
I mean, I do the same thing, but
no,
they
but
don't
we
take
can
as
hear
long.
her all the way downstairs.
Yeah, she's like, her music is all the way up, and we're like,
and if we hear her music, we know, oh, she's taking a shower.
Yeah. Yeah. Or somewhat cleaning her room sometimes. But, yeah, I've had to share a room with Kamaya.
Yeah, they've shared a room before, just for a long time.
Yeah, we have.
They had a room together, and they had 2 separate twin beds, but they would still go and sleep in one of their beds.
Yeah.
So they're kind of connected at the hip.
Yeah, I would say that is like my mini me, because we just know how each other operate. Like my boyfriend right now, he says me and Kamaya.
Right now.
Yeah, my boyfriend.
I'll be on another episode.
He says me and Kamaya speak in this different language that only we can understand, because
I can see that.
We were talking around him one night, and he was like, what are y'all even saying? But me and her understood each other, because we were just on one wavelength. We were like, okay. Like, I didn't know we were speaking gibberish, but hey, I mean, it's just that, because we've just been connected, even though we are 2 years apart.
This is the perk of being a younger sibling.
I think in general, I think we all have our language that we all operate and understand each other
I
on
feel
that
like
other
you
people
and
don't.
we communicate through like facial expressions.
Oh, for
Yes.
sure.
Like
For sure. Me and Rakaya can look at each other
and knew like
and know what's up.
word for word.
Yeah. And no, we do that
We don't
too,
even have to say a
though.
word. We're just like, you see what I'm seeing?
Yeah, like me with Sierra, I can just say it, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, I know," but like,
Yeah,
I don't have to say anything with Rakira. I feel like she looks at me, she's like, "Oh."
That's a good point. That's a
Yeah.
good point. There have been times too where just sometimes look at each other and the bust out laughing. One time I looked at her.
What
I
would
looked
you
at her
say?
and I
Even
had
for
soda in my
us,
mouth
just as
and it came up my
cousins,
nose.
too, what would you say would be our
Because I just looked at her and she
Like,
made
if
me
you guys
laugh.
can
Remember?
I think, well, we've had several bad fights, but I think because I personally feel like me and you got compared to each other a lot.
Yeah.
And even though everyone's like, "Oh no, that's not true," I personally think it is. They may not realize it, but I think it is. So like, and me and Kara already realized from a young age that we're our own person. She's different. I'm different. We're not the same. We're total opposites. Some people, I personally wonder like how we really get along a lot because that's how opposite we are. But I mean, it's always a good thing. But I think because those opposites are like trying to be put together, it kind of like frustrates us a little bit. So like sometimes it can get into like a big, huge deal, and I don't like it. I don't like it when we fight, honestly, because even
It
then,
hurts.
it really does. So, and even then, whenever I'm like, calm down, take a minute to myself, I'm like, and then maybe I see something on social media, I'm like, oh dang, I want to send this to her. But me being stubborn, I'm not going to, because I'm like, I'm not going to have the first word. But then I feel like it always takes something drastic to happen.
Yeah.
For us to kind of be like, okay.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Let's let it go, move on, whatever.
Let it go. Let it go. Okay. I think, let's see. The one I can remember wasn't, maybe it was a fight. I don't know if you counted that's a fight. Sierra, she wanted to go somewhere with me, and I said, no, you're not going with me. And she tried to get in the car, and I locked her out, and she said, fine, I'm going to stand behind your car. And I said, okay, I will run you over. I don't care. I will run you over. And I called my mom. I said, Mom, you need to come get your daughter because I'm about to run her over. I do not care. I don't, just because I wouldn't let her go anywhere with me. Come to find out, she was a little intoxicated. Yeah. And so, but I was about to run her over because no, you're not coming with me. So that wasn't really a fight. And I after a while too, like, we mostly fight over small things. So.
I don't think we've ever really had a serious fight.
No, you and Kamaya fight.
It's me and Kamaya who just, the fire, the fuel that feeds the fire.
Pew pew.
That's rough. I've almost broken Kamaya's arm like on multiple occasions.
They fight dirty, and I think overall girls usually fight dirty because we have claws and we can pull hair.
Well, I don't pull hair.
Oh.
I don't pull hair and I don't scratch.
Our dad always said pull the hair first.
Break arms. I'm like,
I'll never forget that time Sierra was about to do something to Kamaya, and Kamaya literally poked her in her eye. I literally could not breathe that day. Also, I forgot what she was trying to do, but Sierra was trying to come at her. Was it with scissors?
Oh,
no, you were trying to come at her with something. I don't think it was scissors, but Kamaya, all I know is she went and would poked her in her eye.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that either. But yeah, I've almost my parents say like I fight like I just got out of prison. So I mean, I go full black person mode when I fight. Like I don't care. I think the worst fight that we've all had though was over like the baby situation. Like that situation. I think that was like the worst fight.
Yeah, that one didn't really sit right with me at all.
And being me, because I love the child so much. I was the first one to talk about it. I was really the first one to talk about it to Rakaya. Yeah, I talked
She
about
was
it with
because
y'all.
like I said before, I wasn't giving, and I was not going to apologize because I personally at the time didn't think I did anything wrong. But I said at the time. I said at the time.
Said at the time.
But like I said, at the same time, it took something drastic to happen
Yeah.
for us to
Yeah.
reconcile that.
Yeah.
But we do love each other, even though we may not act like it. We do love each other, and that's the sister bond / cousin bond. And that's on period. Lastly, how would you say your sisters have influenced you?
She influenced me to do better in school, really, because after I saw how her college experience was turning out, I said, I'm not going to make the same mistakes as her.
I do well in college.
Like, I was like, I'm just going to apply for all my scholarships. I'll get that done. That influenced me to, like, push myself to get more money for school. That actually pushed me to do better with my grades in high school. She supported me through tennis, because we all played tennis, but I'm the only one who's really sticking out with tennis and doing that in college. I'm injured right now, so I can't really do anything. But she was there. She's always been there for me throughout my whole entire tennis career. So I think she really had a big influence on that, like, aspect of my life. Me influencing Kamaya. Wow. That's...
Kamaya probably would say you don't influence her
I
at
don't.
all.
I really don't. I really don't influence her. I mean, I've impacted her life, like, yes. She's made some of the same choices as I have that were very wrong. I said I'm maturing. Leave me alone. But I think I do kind of have an influence on her. I am pushing her to apply for scholarships and stuff. I'm helping her search for the right college for her. I'm helping her with that. I think that's really all that I've really just been helping her with. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I really just, because the age difference with me and my siblings are so huge, it's kind of really hard to just be like, oh, you've influenced me this way when I pretty much have already been through the things that they have.
Yeah. That's okay. I think you guys have influenced me just to be a better person.
Yeah.
Because I always just want to be the best I can be for you guys. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, I think what I picked up from you is learning how to heal in certain situations.
Yes.
Because watching you do it, and even then, I guess this past year going through COVID and stuff like that, I was mentally going crazy. Like, I just... And then, you know... So, yeah, I've been learning, like, the healing process. And, like, what can I do to, you know, make it better?
Yeah. Oh, you guys. Oh, look at us getting sentimental. Lastly, I ask everybody the same 5 questions that come on here. And so you guys are the first ones, though, to get these questions in the hot seat. So, number 1 is, what is one thing that you want people to take away just from you guys airing on this episode today?
You want to go first?
You can go.
Just that it's okay to have issues with your family as long as you're willing to actually resolve that issue. Communication is really, really big, no matter what, in any aspect of life. Communication is the number one thing.
Yeah.
Also, I think putting God and Jesus in the center of, like, all your relationships is really what's gonna help you. Because I think God literally has healed me in, like, such in such a good way, because I just love him. Like, I have love for the man up there.
Not the man up there.
Like, yeah, I think having that in the center of your family is what really helps you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's the main takeaway.
What I took away from this was really just the importance of sisterhood. Like, even just sitting with you guys, you know, talking about our stories and, you know, just our personal opinions on some things. Like, at the end of the day, whether it's your actual sister, your friend, whoever, I think that's more important because you're going to realize, like, oh, you need them more than you think. And,
yeah. Secondly, is what's one book that changed your life?
Right now, actually, I'm reading a book called Self-Care for Scorpios, because I am a Scorpio. November Scorpios, we're elite, okay?
Okay.
We're very much so elite. But I think that's really changing my life right now because it's giving me knowledge on how I can actually, like, have a self-care for myself. And it's opening my eye on, like, how much astrology is, like, whoa, like, how much is in astrology? Like, it's, like, I thought I knew about astrology, but now I'm like, oh, wow, like, this is actually helping me. And it's giving me tips and showing me, like, what else I can do to help myself, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kaya?
I'm not currently reading anything at the moment.
If
I'm being
that's
honest.
okay. That's okay. That's okay. Thirdly, who's someone you look up to?
Who's someone you look up to?
Right.
These questions are for my guests.
I don't know.
Y'all are in the hot seat.
It's all so hard. I think my mom. I look up to my mom the most. Even though it might not seem like it, I really do. She's very strong. She's a very strong and brave woman. I love her with all my heart. I really do. She shows me, like, that no matter what, you just keep pushing through. Like, even on your hardest days when you don't want to, you have to. And I think that's what I've learned from her the most.
100% yes, because we share the same mom. So, for Kaya.
I wouldn't necessarily say I look up to her, but I would have to say Amara.
If y'all don't know, that's her baby.
That's her daughter.
Only because just looking at her every day, she makes me want to strive to be better.
Oh,
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, I feel like that's what they want when it comes to their kids, but it's like a whole different, like, I could say that, and even if she wasn't here, I'm like, oh yeah, whatever, but it's really different because then it gives you a whole new perspective on life. And
yeah, sure. I think because she's actually so strong and she's so smart.
She's very smart and resilient.
And I think that's what also helps me too. Like her drive to just be there. She and
I like that she just turned 1, so I like that she's already starting to be her own person too.
Yes.
Oh gosh, she is very independent. She's
very spunky.
So for all the listeners, Kai just had a baby
a whole year ago.
She's a mom. It's so fresh. She's a mom, and it's so side note. So proud of her just to see her go through that. Yeah. So, but I think as parents too, it's your children can definitely have
a huge impact on your life. Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say I look up to her because she doesn't talk yet, but
she do talk.
Oh, she talks.
She just can't
say her words
together.
Yeah, she can't form words together.
Just quite. We're working on that.
Fourth is, and your answer kind of already merged into this, but what's one thing you love about women or just girls?
Their resiliency. We are very strong.
#girl boss.
Powered women, empower women. Yeah. That's all I can say. Yeah. We want to lift each other up and not tear each other down, and that's the one thing in this world that not enough women do is build each other up.
Yeah.
Because they want to talk crap about each other and just, like, rain on their parade.
I think we've learned that even at a younger age. I mean, even though we fight sometimes, I think none of us were really like, oh, for example, Sierra had a track meet. Oh, I wish that was me. Or like, you They'll be like, oh, Sierra, you sucked today. I don't think
Right.
any of us were like, even if she did have a bad game, I'm like, oh, well, Sierra, you still went out there, you did good. Like, I don't think we purposely or did anything to tear each other down or make one of us feel less than each other.
Yeah.
In the whole broader scheme of things, I really appreciate, because we're all young Black women, and I love seeing in the industry of like acting and things like that and modeling, like all these young Black women just supporting each other and lifting them up. That's very refreshing to me, because I think representation is very important for just people of color in general. So that's very inspiring, I think, for me to see that. And that's one thing I love about women. Lastly, which is super important to me these days, or just for a long time though, what's your skincare routine at the moment?
Mine is Rihanna Fenty.
Same. We love her.
Okay. I'm going to go into detail.
Oh gosh.
Listen,
oh gosh.
And water.
Yes.
Yes.
Hydrate. Hot girls hydrate.
Yes. Water, water, water. I use 2 different facial cleansers. I use the CeraVe moisturizing cleanser first, and it's like the gel-like one, and then I use the Pacifica like kale
That
foaming.
one's good.
The Pacifica. So I wash my hands, leave my hands wet, do the CeraVe first for a minute, and then do the Pacifica for a minute, and then I rinse my face off with cold water. Cold water specifically for your face. Can't stress that enough. Cold water for your face. And then I use the washcloth and wipe my face, all the soap off my face, rinse that, and then go back over it again. Like, make sure all like the nodes in your face or like just puffiness is gone with the cold water. Then I use, I think it's the Thayer's cucumber facial toner.
Thayer's?
Yeah, whatever.
Thayer's?
I think it's Thayer's. Thayer's. Thayers. Thayer's. I use that. I do my face and then my neck and then go back over my eyes, nose.
I love how detailed this is.
I'm almost done.
Make your own tutorial.
And then I use the Pacifica C moisturizer, and that's it.
Oh my gosh. She's getting into detail about everything. And then I wring out the towel
and lip balm. And lip balm.
But
on occasion, Vaseline for your lips and eyebrows.
Yeah, skincare is very important, and everything we've talked about. So Sierra's book, I will link in the podcast below, and I will link me and Makara. I'm referring to myself as the third person. Me and Rakaya, I will link our Fenty beauty products. We do love Queen Rihanna. Yes. So we will link everything I've talked about below if you're interested in trying those out.
Something about that skin that she has.
Yes, I know. She has flawless skin. But I wanted to say, Rakaya and Sierra, thank you so much for being my first guest on my episode. I'm super excited. I love you guys, and thank you for talking so much. Thank you for talking about sisterhood, and I've really enjoyed our time together. And before we close out, just like a quote from my favorite book, The Help, you guys know it. Always remember, you are kind, you are smart, you are important, and thank you for tuning in.